So obviously I'm here to talk about digital advertising today, and because the group is kind of varied as far as knowledge and whatnot, might be a little bit, what would you call it? Not as much detail as some of you might need, but hopefully I can touch on bases and somebody will take something from it.
See how that works?
What?
You start to talk,
yeah,
she closes the door on me.
I told all my secrets without you. You missed them, sorry, you can just go home.
Can I at least grab something first?
So I thought we'd start with some introductions, and since we're probably all chamber members, it might be just good to meet and greet everyone. So if you don't mind going around and saying your name and maybe your business, then we can all get to know each other. Do you want to start, John?
Okay. I'm Bev Helton, and I think I'm the only chamber member that has 100% online business, but I sell antiques and collectibles online, actually through eBay, full time. I've been an antique dealer for many, many years and got tired of doing shows and having antique mall booths, and so now I do everything online, and it's fun.
Cool. Is there a name for your business, or is it just under?
I can't hear you. What's your name?
Oh, it's Bev's Collectibles and Antiques.
No.
Oh, I was asking her a question.
Oh, I think you were.
Yeah, I have business cards I'll be happy to pass out.
I just wondered if you had a business name.
Yes, I do. Okay.
And how about you?
I'm Michelle Johnson, and I work for Charlie's Greenhouse.
Heidi Allred, and I work for Charlie's Greenhouse.
Card.
Hey, how are you?
My name's Joe McClyman.
I offer free delivery to chamber members if you're in the field, have a business in the area. I'll deliver, so then it saves on shipping.
Sorry. It's okay.
My name's Joe McClyman. I do in-home and on-site computer service and repair. Joe, the computer guy, is my business.
All right.
My name's Don Witt, Economic Development Association.
Oh, my turn.
Go.
I'm Sylvia Reed with Vision Explorer. We're an online magazine, and we feature lifestyle and entertainment, primarily Whatcom and Skagit County. Those are the markets that we work with.
I'm Brian Gibbs. I'm with Focused Idea, which is a digital marketing company.
Cool.
Sorry, Nick.
That's okay.
I'm Jorge Manzanera from Skagit Mediation.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Do you need to say anything?
Oh, no. I'm okay. Stephanie, I'm just making sure. I'm Stephanie with the Mount Vernon Chamber for Marketing and Tourism Division. So I'll be in and out.
And so my name is Summer Damm, and I have a background in advertising. It's been my whole career, basically. So I have a bachelor's degree in communications with an emphasis on advertising from Washington State University. Go Cougs! And then I've been selling advertising for probably 15 years or so. I sold for the Seattle Times for 9 years, and then I worked for a national advertising agency that's based out of Washington, D.C., and I wanted to come somewhere more rural and get out of the rat race, so this job came available, and I love Skagit County, so I've been up here for almost 2 years and in love with the area. So today, basically, what we're going to talk about is we'll go over some social media statistics and just general digital media statistics. And then I wanted to touch on social media benefits. And then the Facebook changes that are happening with the way they show posts for businesses and what they're kind of doing with having to boost posts and do sponsored posts. We'll touch on that kind of stuff. And then go over analytics and how you can see basically your target market through demographics that Facebook is providing you once you have a Facebook page for your business. So we'll go over that. And then some other really, really cool digital advertising tactics that I want to kind of touch on at the end. So, and then we'll go over questions. But feel free to kind of chime in with questions as you may have them, just because an hour is a long time. So help me fill up the space maybe a little bit.
We don't need to fill it up. Not an hour.
So just going over the digital landscape in general, basically you guys are in the right place today, getting more knowledge on digital advertising and helping yourself grow your business through whatever resources you may have. So it's a good thing that you came today. And just to tell you, for the first time, basically marketers spent more to advertise on the internet in 2013, and then it also grew in 2014 than they did for broadcast television. So that's the first time that that's actually happened in the industry, and it just shows you where the trends are going, all to digital. And then U.S. marketers spent $12.8 billion on online display advertising in 2013. So 30% of the total online, it was 30% of total advertising budget was spent with online display. And retailers were the biggest, basically, industry to take advantage of that. So the question today to start us off is, how many of you guys have a Facebook page for your business?
Just a personal one, which.
A little more than
When I
half.
started the personal one, I thought that I was going to advertise my business on Facebook several years ago, and then I realized I had the wrong kind of page, and I just haven't done anything since.
Well, it's good because you need a personal page to build a business page, so you're on the right track. It's the next step, so you'll learn today probably.
I have it, but I don't do, I have not been able to do more than this. So,
What do you guys see as the biggest obstacle with Facebook, or the biggest challenge with Facebook, would you say, if you already have one?
time, lack of time, you're in another track, and having to say, I need to go to my Facebook,
Yes.
feels like you're not doing the right thing. Well, I mean, it's just not the time.
I think that the biggest confusion is having that personal page and then the business page, and it's just not really designed for businesses. So it was very confusing a few years ago when we started it, and just trying to keep up with that confusion.
Yeah, it is confusing, and yeah, that's true. Well, we'll go over some of that today, and yeah. So we're going to focus mostly on Facebook because it is the monster of social media, basically. So they have 802 million daily users, and 609 million of those are on mobile devices. So when we talk about mobile devices, we're talking about handheld devices or iPads, tablets. So that's how we define mobile. Laptops are considered regular, like desktop sites. But that's just huge when you think of all the interaction on Facebook daily. It's a great place to be able to take advantage of it for your business, and you can do it free or fairly cheap. But Facebook right now is kind of making it so you're going to need to start paying more for what you're going to get as far as getting your message out to your followers or just the market in general. So we'll talk about that. But this shows basically where we spend our time online. So daily time spent online in America, basically it's 1.72 hours a day on social media, which is pretty mind-blowing. Most of that's probably spent while you're at work, they say. People are on social media a lot at work, and like it or not, a lot of it's spent from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And then time spent in social networking, basically, as you can see, I don't know if you can really read this up here, unfortunately, but total time spent online just increases to grow from 2012 to 2014. And as you can see, just time spent social networking and now microblogging, just everybody likes to chitter chatter with each other online. That's kind of the nature of the beast. So as businesses, basically, the top concerns of small businesses have basically stayed the same over the years, but a few years ago they did a survey of local businesses, Constant Contact did, and 78% of people said that their biggest obstacle is getting new customers in business. Would you guys agree with that? Is that your biggest goal? Getting new customers? Yeah. And then 61% of people said that they're low on time, so that's an obstacle, and 49% of people said keeping customers was their biggest challenge. But now, more recently when they did the survey, 75% said their challenge was getting new customers, 65% said they were low on time, and a 10% increase, or 9% increase was keeping customers. So now, just probably because of digital media, things are getting so much more competitive with keeping customers. You can buy things on Amazon for discounted prices, and so now it's even more important to stay in front of your frequent customers and make sure that you're marketing your products to them at a local level or wherever you're trying to gain their business. So what's one way to keep those customers? Through social media marketing. So basically, the people that have liked your business on Facebook have basically opted in and said, I'm your fan, I want to know more, give me more information, tell me about your specials or your promotions. For whatever reason, they want to stay in touch with you, and this is the perfect platform to do that on. So 85% of consumers use Facebook posts for local merchandise and merchant info, and social media is used by 87% of local merchants for business. So I think when we did the little unscientific poll up here, it kind of stood true in this room too, that it's about 78% or 87% that have.
When you say local merchant info, that means we're not buying from Amazon or doing anything, but just local.
Just local businesses.
85% of the consumers.
Correct.
Local goes how big? It's
Well, it's defined as our DMA basically, so we define our DMA as Skagit and Island counties, but that is a national statistic.
okay.
It's not that's not a local statistic, it's a national statistic based on how people search for local businesses, if that makes sense. Kind of confusing.
Good.
So, and why is social media important for local merchants? It's basically word of mouth on steroids. So many times when I'm on sales calls, I ask people, how do you get your business? And they say, oh, just word of mouth, word of mouth. Well, if that stands true, and I know that generally it does stand true, this is just a basic way to amplify it. So you have the word of mouth, your customers are, sharing your post with friends, or they're liking it and it's coming up in their friends' news feeds or whatnot. It's just a basic way to get more talk and buzz about your products and your business. So instead of one-to-one, social media is one-to-many, basically. And social media means repeat business, so you can use the platform to stay in touch with your fans via social media and updating them on your promotions and whatnot and staying top of mind. And then it also means referral business. So like I said, people have opted in to like your business, so obviously they might give you a review on Facebook, or they'll share a post with someone, and that's important to just remember basically that you're getting that service or that advantage from Facebook. And sometimes merchants' main focus is on acquiring new customers, and they forget about staying in touch with their current customers. So I think there's like that old adage, it's cheaper to maintain a customer than it is to go out and get a new customer. So a lot of times merchants want to really focus on their current customers for repeat business. So what should you post on social media? This is kind of the big question for everybody and what people probably deliberate about the most. Facebook posts with less than 250 characters get 60% more engagement on Facebook. So it's important that you post stuff that's kind of clear and concise. People's attention span is very, very short, and so they want the message and they want it quick in a little snippet, basically. You can post huge, long Facebook posts if you want, but we obviously don't recommend it. It's not limited by characters like Twitter is. You have to hit 42 characters or something. And then posting to Facebook on Fridays is likely to result in better engagement. 17% of weekly comments, 16% of weekly likes and shares, and 25% of videos played occur on Fridays. So again, I think that's probably mostly people like planning their weekend, or they're in a better mood, they're at work, they're going on social media, and that's why they have probably better response on Fridays. Updates posted on Sundays generate the fewest comments, so for whatever reason, people are probably out and about and not using their social media as much on Sundays. So that's something to keep in mind when you think about when to post. And you can also get that in more detail on your analytics page of Facebook. The times when people have been on your site most often, all of that information is there for you. Yeah, Brian?
What are your thoughts on automation to fit into that kind of a schedule, i.e. buffer app or something like that?
Not familiar with Buffer app.
Is that the thing where you type up something and say now post it on Friday?
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
rather than just buffer, what are your thoughts on automation? Pretty popular in your feeds.
I do it all personally.
Okay.
I don't love stuff like that. I do schedule my posts out like for the month. I'll go online and do a posting schedule for my customers and say, you know, like if it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, this is what we're gonna talk about each day with the photo attached and whatnot, and then I'll schedule all of those out all at once, because I think it is, it's a smart way to do it, because just like you said, it's hard to gauge your time. Like, you have good intentions to manage your Facebook page, and then something happens at work and you get distracted, and then you suddenly notice you haven't posted for 3 weeks or something like that. So it's nice to just take a chunk of time and sit down once a month and get it all hammered out, and then it'll post automatically for you, and I can show you, I'm gonna show you how to do that today. So follow the 3 Ps. This is what we recommend also. So personal posts, purposeful posts, and promotional posts. So what is a personal post? Basically, they can be the most difficult post to come up with, but they're also most important, because a lot of times people on Facebook are looking for like that touchy-feely part of your business, you know, especially if they're shopping locally. They want to know the store owner. They want to, you know, I always think of Three Little Birds in Burlington. That's my favorite store. She does a really good job with her social media, and you end up kind of feeling like you know her just through the voice of her social media page. So she does a really good job with that. So ideas for personal posts are photos of employees enjoying their work and having fun. I think that's kind of funny, because it says enjoying their work and having fun. Like, don't take a picture of an employee that's disgruntled in the corner. But and stories and interviews from employees. So if you want to do like introduce your new employees that you have, or do an employee of the month program and feature one employee per month, that's kind of a fun thing to do. I love reading people's bios, and I think that kind of stands true with most people that are into social media. Photos of customers and others who do business with the company. So if you have a special customer that comes in, maybe they bring you something, like they bring you some spring flowers or something, because they're such a loyal customer, and maybe have a picture taken with that customer and post it saying, oh, here's my favorite customer today, or something like that. Welcome notes to new team members, and then announcing new clients or company events. And I just took a screenshot of what we did during the Super Bowl. I took a picture of my boss's window and posted that up there. We were kind of into that box at Skagit Publishing. The purposeful posts are obviously important as well. So give your fans a sense of purpose for when they're coming back. So industry tips and tricks, questions, opinions, and quotes related to your industry, photos related to your industry or your product, and then news or content that's new with your industry. So for instance, with Frontier Ford, they posted just some general content on tire safety. And so maybe you want to become the place that people go when they need information on a specific product. So that would be the way to do it. Make sure you're resourceful for your customers. And then promotional posts. People basically don't want to just be bombarded with ads everywhere they go, which, I mean, that's kind of the nature of society these days, but people have the ability to unfollow you also as a business. So what we recommend is 2 to 3 personal or purposeful posts per week, and then maybe 1 to 2 promotional posts. So you're not just bombarding them 3 times a day with different specials and offers, because that can become obnoxious. So that's just what we recommend. Customize.
Say that again, you recommend what?
We recommend 1 to 2 promotional posts per week. Not really more than that, because people might opt out as far as following your business. And then don't just say buy it now or limited time offer, you know, include a graphic or something like that, and make sure the posts sound conversational. So like you're kind of like you're talking to your customers, you want it to be friendly. And I mean, if you're a more serious business like an insurance brokerage or something, you might want to have your language be a little bit more professional than somebody that's just like a retail shop. But just try to speak in your own voice when you're doing your social media. I think that makes it more successful. Another good way to grow your fan base organically is by having contests. So oftentimes we would do a trivia contest, and also just to drive the engagement on your page, because now Facebook is gauging the engagement of your page, and that's how they're deciding which posts they're offering up to your followers. Like if they find a lot of engagement on your page and people commenting and liking and coming back and traffic, that's going to allow them to then basically show your posts more to your friends and followers. They used to just automatically show your posts, and now they've changed it as to, they want to, well, I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
What would be an example of a contest?
A contest? So for a while we were doing these contests. I think it was Wednesday trivia, and we would put like, it's just kind of silly stuff, but we would put like marbles in a vase or something, and we would say, guess how many marbles to win a Starbucks gift card, and everybody that enters gets entered to win, and we would literally like draw them out of a hat or something.
So it was a mechanical draw?
Mhm.
Either computer
Yeah.
or-
I mean, I'm sure there's ways you can do it mechanically, but we just did it old school because
Okay.
we would probably get sometimes up to like 70 people guessing on our contest, which was kind of fun. And then people started to look at it every Wednesday, look for it because they wanted the $20 Starbucks card, you know. So that's going to drive engagement, and then make sure that Facebook continues to see you as an active Facebook page and continues to post your posts.
Is that like, I think Three Little Birds does this, and a co-op where like and then post something, post a comment, and then you could win whatever prize package it is. And I don't think the co-op does it every week. I think it's a monthly, and I'm not sure how often Three Little Birds does it either.
I think Three Little Birds does it every week.
Do they?
I think so.
Okay.
And they say like, comment, and share.
Like, comment, and share.
this post. So technically, it's against Facebook rules to say share this post and be entered to win something. Businesses do it all the time because it's not highly monitored, and that is the main way that you can get your fan base increased organically.
Because then at that point it's sharing with all of that
Yeah.
person's friends, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I always say proceed with caution with that.
But like and comment is fine.
Like and comment is fine. Yeah.
What app or software do you recommend for the contest generation or pick the winner?
We do all of our stuff manually. We have a service that we use. I'm going to have to think about what it's called. That we
To
run.
keep it according to the Facebook guidelines, and basically, for the lack of another term, legal, you gotta have another system, a third party to pick your winner. So,
We have one, and I can't think of it off the top of my head what it's called. I can email it to you to let you know what it is. Yeah.
That does your like drawing.
Well, we do our drawings like by hand, basically, because we're still fairly small as far as the way we're doing it. But the newsroom, Skagit Publishing, they do use a service for all of their photo contests and their baby contests and all of that kind of stuff. I just can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Let's see. And then always make sure you set end dates and times with your contest to make sure you're building demand. For one thing, it builds demand, and for another thing, it's a guideline of Facebook to have a stop and start date of your contest. So Facebook changes, I've kind of alluded to this already, but basically as if Facebook doesn't have enough revenue, they're looking for a new revenue stream. So now that they've built this huge, huge audience that we talked about, they know they're basically sitting on a gold mine because Facebook for Business now has taken off as well. So what they're tending to do is they're withholding posts from businesses unless you have a highly engaged Facebook page. And even then, it's somewhat sporadic as far as if you post something, how many of your followers are actually going to see it. So they've gone into basically what you can do is boost your post and do sponsored posts, stuff like that, to make sure you're getting your message out paid to your fans and followers, and then also you can open it up to your, whichever audience you're trying to reach. Usually it'll probably be local, Skagit County. So basically what that means for them is it's just another revenue stream for them to make money now that they're sitting on this gold mine of Facebook for Business page. So sponsored posts, they look like this when they come up in your news feed. I'm sure you guys have seen them. There's the ability to have a click to like your page or to sign up or go directly to your website, and all of that can be specified when you set up the ad itself. And then scheduled posts, this is how I schedule all of my posts every month. It's kind of hard to see. I can bring it up, let's see. Not a live thing that's going to try to do it here. This is our Skagit 12 site. This is very slow computer, so So are any of you familiar with scheduled posts? Like, we'll just schedule them out a little bit. So what you do basically is you go in here, just like you're gonna do a normal post, and you type your content. And then you go down here to publish, to the drop down. You say schedule. And then if you wanted to post, for instance, on Friday, because there's so much more engagement on Fridays, you just pick that date, which would be the 12th. And the time, I'm going to be careful here so I don't accidentally schedule this. And then you hit schedule, and you'll get a little notice up at the top of your newsfeed that says one scheduled post. And if you click on it, you can remind yourself of the day and time that it's going to be posted. So that's a good way to stay on top of it for time management, even if you're doing it once a week and you sit down once a week on a Monday morning or something and you do all of your posts for the week. That sometimes helps people stay on schedule.
I guess I'm a little confused about what sponsored posts. What is that?
Yes, I'll show you.
Okay.
While you're doing that, once you do set something to, go keep working, I didn't want to stop you.
Okay.
Once you set something to post, say, on Friday, and all of a sudden, there's a presidential assassination on Thursday, and maybe you don't want to post that on Friday. Can you stop that?
That's morbid. But yes, you can.
Well,
You
for some
pick
reason, I
everything
flashed
down.
on a Mad Men episode where they picked a wedding day that happened to be the day that Kennedy got assassinated, and it didn't go well.
Right.
But can you unpost? Can you say, you know what, forget it, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and there'll be like a clickable
Yeah.
It'll say your scheduled post
Fire.
kind of at the top. There will be a clickable link, and you can click on that link to view the post, and then there's a little column in the right that'll say like edit or delete.
Yeah,
So
never mind.
right, yeah, change my mind.
By the way, it was November 22nd, 1963.
Yes.
Now you guys got me all distracted. Listen.
It's a skill, really. I don't like to show it off too much.
The same day that C.S.
Sponsored
Lewis
posts.
died.
Oh,
Keep taking
What
notes.
she's actually thinking of is how she's gonna pull this off now that she pointed it out that's gonna happen.
what's gonna happen?
This whole assassination.
Oh my God! I'm just gonna go call the cops.
I
What
could,
am I gonna do?
and the house burns down, something far less important.
So I clicked on promote page. So when you click on promote page, it's going to bring up this amazing screen here, and I say it's amazing because you can really target who you're serving these ads to, and that's so beneficial to your
So that's
business.
when you pay for the selection.
Correct.
Those are the boosts.
Yeah, the boosts or sponsored posts. They call
I think
them
they got a link.
different things, but so basically what you're doing here is you're placing an ad that's going to show up in people's desktop newsfeed. You can specify mobile newsfeed or their right column sidebar ads. They'll allow you to upload an image. This is pretty important because the image, Facebook is really picky about what images they're going to post and associate with your ad. So it can't be more than 20% text, basically, is their main rule. So you want just a basic general image that you're going to put up in that screen. And then for your copy, you're going to put it in over here. And I think it's like 130 characters or something limit that you can put. So this is where you want to put your promotion or whatever you're specifying. It's important to put a specific offer in that copy just because that's going to get more people's attention, basically, or more apt to click. You don't have to do that, that's just recommended. And then you choose your location. You can type in, you know, if I type in Mount Vernon, it will usually come up, and there it is. This computer's very slow. So you can specify, you know, you might want to target all of the zip codes in the county. I think there's 9 of them. And then specific interests. So for our Skagit 12 page, for instance, we would put words like football, Seahawks, you know, any of the things that we can find in this menu bar. You just start typing away and I'll bring up suggested ones for you that are related to that category. And then if you know the target audience that you're going after, or you know, I want to reach millennials or something, you can adjust the date range or the age range here. You can pick by gender who they're going to serve it out to. Not sure why this isn't scrolling down. Down here is where you choose your budget. It's very weird. Anyway, you choose your budget here, so it'll give you a block of people that it's estimated that it's going to reach. So if you say $5 a day for 7 days or something, they're going to estimate your reach to be 1,700 to 3,000 or something like that, depending on whatever categories you've picked as your interests. And then
Is that what you referred to earlier when we met? Impressions?
Yeah. I mean, sort of. It's how many times your ad will be served within your designated area, yeah. Or seen in the newsfeed, basically. And then your credit card information will probably already be loaded in here, but if not, they'll ask for it here, and then you just click the promote page, and it'll start running to whatever specific demographic you set it up to run to. So this one basically would be set up to gain more likes to your page or more followers to your page because they have the click to like button right there. I don't know what happened to my...
Could there be links to a website or links to another thing from these ads?
Not in this page like ad, I don't believe, but if you're doing a sponsored product ad, they have different terminology for exactly what you're promoting. You can include a website in those.
So this ad that you just built there is just for somebody that saw it and they go, oh, I like that, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you're trying to do at that point.
And then there are ads where you can promote your website. So if you have a lot of Facebook followers but you want them to go to your website, this is a specific ad to direct them there. Similar to, they have ones for product as well.
But they don't actually buy things through these ads.
Like if you want to do a training, for instance, or something, and they want to buy it, can you do it with that ad?
You can set it up that way. I've seen them before. I've never done them personally.
Okay.
But I know I've seen them, like the example I had on here. Like this one, for instance, they're saying sign up. So I think in the ads for particular products, there's probably a place where you put in your link to be able to go right there to sign up. I just have to play around with it a little bit. And then boosting posts, so if there's a specific post that you want to promote, like you want to say that you're having a 50% off sale for this weekend only and it's your biggest sale of the year, so you really want to promote it, I would suggest boosting a post for that and having a nice graphic that talks about your sale, maybe almost like an ad that has the graphic, 50% off sale this week with some of your merchandise or something like that. Photos get seen more often when you're posting just organically, but always have a photo because people are really visual. And similar to how we just did the other one, you just fill in your information here for a specific post and then you set budget. And it does its work for you. It's magic.
So basically you're telling it how much you're willing to pay for it?
Mm-hmm. You set your budget, so this is a total budget. So you say, here, this is what it's showing you, $20 budget. Estimated people reached is going to be 2,300 to 6,000 people reached. And it even gives you this number here of how many people within the designated geography you said are available to reach, basically, and then how many you're estimating with this budget.
Can you go over a little bit, like, why is that range so big? 2,300 to 6,000. What's going to determine? Do you know what?
I sell this stuff on another platform, and I know it's basically how often people are trying to get that set of words increases the amount that they need to pay for it. Does that make sense? So if you put in like, you know, swimwear or something like that, that might be a term that a lot of people are bidding on.
Okay, so it's an auction. I get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's more of an auction environment. Yeah. So analytics, this part is super cool. Do you guys use your analytics from your Facebook page at all?
Yeah,
A little bit?
Yeah, I've been experimenting.
Yes.
Like,
Always something that you think.
oh yeah, he's got it.
This is some amazing information we have if we only had time to actually look at it and see. So I'm just using this Skagit 12 site as an example, but what you see here is you can look at all of the likes you've basically gotten since you started the page, and then it shows you a specific date range here of basically what happened in the last week for your business on Facebook. So how many times your post was sent out, and then engagement, how many people, you know, liked a post or shared a post or not. The part that I really think is cool is the people portion. So you can see if you're trying to guess basically who is my target market. I don't even know who I'm trying to reach. You know, a lot of times businesses don't have a solid grasp on that. This is a good way to kind of find out, because these are your fans and your followers, and that would give you just something that you can extrapolate out and say, okay, this is my target market. So it shows here women, basically the fans that are women, which is interesting because this is a football page, Skagit 12, and the percentage is 69% women, which I love, and 30% men. I would almost think it would be opposite since it's sports, but more female followers than male. And then this just shows you the average of on Facebook. 46% of women on Facebook or people on Facebook are women, and 54% of people on Facebook are men. So we're skewing very different than the general Facebook average. And then you can also see basically by age group what percentage of people are within a certain age. So it's pretty cool that you can look at that information. And then you can also see where are my fans coming from, and the majority of ours are coming from Mount Vernon. But like for retail businesses, you can use this then to do your sponsored posts. Like if you know that most of your people are coming from Mount Vernon, by looking at this, you can then specify that in your sponsored posts and your boosted posts to target people from Mount Vernon, because that's where your most popular per se. So it's kind of a good thing to check in on every once in a while, and then make sure you're basically applying that when you're doing your scheduled posts and boosted posts. Does anybody have questions on analytics stuff? It's pretty cool. Trying to get out of this. So I just talked about that, who's here in your target market. So that was the Facebook portion. I hope you guys got a little bit out of it as far as posting and whatnot. You have,
I just thought of one.
That's fine.
So on the business pages now, our business is really trying to get friends. I mean, they kind of like have hidden that a little bit, and you just want people to like you as opposed to follow you. I'm not really sure, because I try to get friends and then Facebook blocked me, like, do you really know all these people? Like, well, they're on my page. I'm just trying to, you know, friend request them, and then the friend requests actually become on the personal page as opposed to the Facebook business page. So it got really confusing there.
It sounds like maybe you're inviting people to be friends with your personal page.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to do it on the business page. It always goes back to the personal page.
But just businesses don't necessarily have friends, they only have likes.
Right.
Well, but we have
Or
5
followers.
friends. See, it's like, how did I get those? But I can't get more. But I have likes, but I can't. It's very confusing.
I think I can show you after the class if
Okay.
you want me to show you.
I'd like to see
Okay.
somebody else's. Yeah, see what it looks like.
Yeah, it is really tricky. It is. So yeah, talk to me after, and I have online access here, so I can show you.
Okay.
So targeted digital banner ads. This stuff is so super cool. I think I sold mass media for my whole career basically, and the problem with mass media is that you pay a lot of money for getting a message out to many people. And there's a concept called the thin market concept that only 3% of the market or the population at any given time is interested in your product or service, or actually shopping for your product or service. So why would you spend, 100% of your marketing budget on mass media when you're only going to really benefit by getting that 3% that's interested in your product or service? Does that make sense?
Well, on the one side, it's mass media because it reaches everybody, but it's very local because it's the local newspaper. As opposed to Facebook, that you think, well, I'm going to be going to, even other countries where I don't really want to even have an effect.
But again, you can
target it.
specifically target whatever market you want. That's what
That's
you
with
said
an
before.
ad, but overall with your
Within
own
Facebook, you can define exactly who you target. You don't necessarily have to be.
Okay. But even in your personal page, even when it's not just about making ads, but sharing posts and things
Well,
like that.
considering she's talking about a business page, probably not so much, there's not so much focus on your personal page, but on your business page. When you're doing targeted ads, it is targeted ads.
Yep. Yep, that's absolutely.
I mean, there's a really great place for mass media, and it serves a purpose if you want to get just a general message out there and brand yourself. I don't want to say that there's not a need for that, because there definitely is, but this kind of allows you, maybe you could run promotions hand in hand with mass media, but it allows you to hone in on a specific product to that targeted group of people. So this slide just basically shows time spent with major media in the United States. In 2014, we spent a little over 12 hours with major media per day, and almost 6 hours of that was digital. And of that, 5 hours and 46 minutes, or 6 minutes, almost half of it, 49%, was on mobile handheld devices. So it's really important that whatever you do online can be applied out to handheld devices as well. And we'll talk about that.
That
So,
has actually gone up in the last 2 weeks.
I'm sure.
By
What
a
did you
lot.
last see?
It's like 52.8.
Oh my gosh.
That's for the second quarter.
It's growing so fast, it's hard to keep up with it. So, do you ever look at something online? For instance, I was just looking at shoes at Nordstrom because it was their half-yearly sale. It's the only time I ever buy shoes at Nordstrom because they're otherwise too expensive. And then the ad is following you around on the internet. So you go to Facebook and you're like, oh, I was just looking at those shoes online. How ironic is that? So,
Stalker ads.
yeah, stalker ads, creepy ads. We can do that for you at Skagit Connext, but it's also just a service that...
You can stalk for us, that's nice.
Yes.
I hate doing stalking. Very time consuming being
Look,
stalked.
there's Joe.
There's me.
Oh, the computer guy. He's stalking
He
you.
is stalking.
So this is just an
And it's
example.
no less creepy.
You're even looking at us with those glasses of yours. So this is targeted digital banner ads. Basically, it allows businesses to advertise on national websites and give your business that national credibility, but at a local level. So you're not paying, obviously, to show this ad on Fandango in New York City. You're just paying to show your ad on Fandango here in Skagit County, for instance. Or if you get a lot of business from the San Juans or something like that, we can target to the San Juans specifically. So it's super cool stuff. So targeted digital banner advertising, basically it allows you to run digital banner ads that are served to your ideal customers. So we can serve these by obviously geography, we can serve them by demographic, we can serve them by content, and I'm gonna talk about all of those
It
different
has nothing
offers.
to do with Facebook? It
Correct.
goes to the website?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, so we have access, and I know this isn't supposed to be a sales pitch, so I'm just saying this, just generally, you can advertise on a network of sites, and it just depends on who you want to use for your vendor to access those sites, basically, but you're able to do that at a local level. So we offer millions of premium websites, and everything's local, and then we also integrate consumer data like age, hobbies and interests, device, time of day, week, month. So if you have a specific time of year that you're like for your produce, right, you said? Or
We sell
gardening?
greenhouses.
Greenhouses.
Gardening.
So obviously your summer is your peak season, so you definitely want to focus your budget during that time. I'm assuming, I don't actually.
Actually,
It's not?
spring would be your peak
Spring.
season.
Okay,
Spring farm.
okay. Wow, I had that backwards.
Because you're
didn't
trying, you're trying to extend the season.
I?
Can you tell a little bit about what kind of a price does? you know what I
Digital
mean?
banner.
Yeah,
Yes,
what
do
is
tell.
a person paying to
Do something like that.
Yeah, I can talk about that a little bit maybe
Oh.
at the end.
Okay.
It's sold on an impression basis, so you're basically paying per 1,000 impressions. So however many times your ad is served up, that's generally how companies allow you to buy the inventory. So the benefits of digital banner advertising, obviously you're purchasing that ideal audience for a specific campaign, and you can advertise to anyone, anywhere, on any device now, which is really cool. And because it's targeted by zip code, you utilize that portion of your budget where you need to. You don't have to spray it out to Snohomish County if you don't want to. You can target it right here. So site retargeting is probably the most prevalent type of targeting that we use with digital banner ads, and that's what we just talked about, where you visit someone's website and then you go elsewhere on the internet and you continue to see their ads. And this has proven to be one of our most effective targeting methods, because people have basically opted in already. They've shown interest. They're doing research on your product for whatever reason. Mostly the reason is that they're ready to purchase something, or they're in the buying cycle. So, for instance, you visit Duck Back Northwest, and then you're served a Duck Back ad when you go to ESPN. So it's really awesome to stay top of mind with customers like that. Like, for instance, I remember I was looking for Lion King tickets when the Lion King was in Seattle. I was going to take my nephew to it, and I was researching and everything, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure he can do that date, but I need to call my brother and make sure that he can do that date. And then I forgot and got distracted, and then a couple days later the Lion King ad came up in my Facebook feed, and I was like, oh, I forgot to call my brother, you know. And then we ended up going to see the Lion King, but it's possible I never would have bought the tickets if they hadn't been retargeting me, because people get so distracted with how busy life is. It's just good to stay top of mind with people. Contextual targeting is also super cool. So this is when we place your ad next to business.
It's a wild west out there.
If you want to go 2 miles around, can you bring your own cell and say, okay, I go to downtown Seattle, for instance, and then I'll get 2 miles around me if I'm trying to be, the distance is from my mobile device or from, I don't know, my business that's somewhere.
It's from your mobile device.
No, wait. That's not what he's asking. The area that you define, it's not based on your mobile device. It's based on an address or a location you give them. It's based
Right.
on that area.
You
Right.
cannot do that, let's say, in relation to your own position with your cell phone?
That's what he's asking. Can you change? Can you have it change on the fly so people say, "Hey, Jorge's just down the block. I can tell because this."
I
Or
don't,
you go to, let's say, just downtown Seattle, and you can reach a lot more people 2 miles around you than if you do that in Alaska or
Right.
somewhere here. If you are interested in sending that message, can you do that from your own location?
if you're trying to reach people that are in Seattle.
Somewhere else, yes.
Yes, you can do that.
I think you're saying the same thing, but backwards from what she just said.
But you have to
Okay, so
specify the location. It's
Right,
not
but
just
I mean-
automatically off of your phone.
Right, but you can say, I want this location to be.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because the way we set it is by latitude and longitude coordinates. So we set a pinpoint basically,
Okay.
and then we define the radius geographically out from there. So yes, if you wanted to reach people that are currently in Seattle, we could do that for you. Yeah.
Nice.
So how does that come across to people? Because I have to say I don't get ads on my phone.
So they're served through, this particular type of ad is served through apps only. So you have to have your GPS function turned on your phone, and you have to be within an app at that particular time. It wouldn't just show up on a general mobile site. So if you have like the Facebook app, for instance, and you're in that on your phone at the time, they might not be a good example, but if you're in Candy Crush, the Candy Crush app.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot of games that have
Yeah.
advertising like that.
Yeah, a lot of games do, and there's a banner ad just right down at the bottom of the game, or sometimes it's at the top, but usually it's at the bottom.
Okay, so like when we're cheap and we don't want to pay for a game, and we have the ads that
Yes,
pop up?
yes.
Oh, okay.
But it's not only on game.
Pandora
But
does
it's
that
on
too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't do Pandora, so I guess I...
Yeah, Pandora, they'll like see where like your location. So, because I know I went to the Nike store. Next thing you know, I'm hearing ads for Nike.
Mhm.
So it's kind of picking up like that.
Yeah, yeah. But only with the hyper-local ads do you have to be in an app. So the other mobile, like the contextual and the retargeting that we talked about, those are served. You don't have to be in an app to get those. You just have to be on a mobile site of some sort. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the sites themselves are determined, when you're talking about demographics, hobbies, ages, interests, things of that nature.
We actually pull it in from third-party data. So the sites, sometimes you can get that information from the sites, but not always. So we have access to, I think it's 9 different data lists that we pull data from, that we also kind of like cross-tabulate into the websites and whatnot. So if you're trying to reach baby boomers with household income 75K plus or something like that, we can put that into the system and then serve the ads to those types of people. So the digital targeting options, just to kind of summarize, so we can serve the ads on regular computer devices, desktop or laptop. We can target your visitors across the site who have already visited your site. We can set up a website campaign. So for instance, if you just wanted to reach people who are home improvement intenders, we would just go in and grab home improvement type sites like HGTV, Better Homes and Gardens, those types of sites, and build a list for you that way. We'll serve your ad next to relevant content. So like we said, next to the article specific content that people are reading based on your keyword list. And then we can also do mobile only campaigns through apps or through general mobile websites, and then the hyperlocal targeting, which we talked about. And then we can also serve on Facebook Ad Exchange, which are the little ads that come up in the sidebar as well. So you can specify if you specifically want to reach Facebook audience. So that's what I had. Questions?
So if you wanted to be like one of the sidebar ads for Facebook, that's something you do through your Facebook app?
You can do it through your page, but we can also serve them through this platform as well. Yeah. Other questions?
What would be the easiest way to start? Facebook can give you, as you said, maybe the main, if you want to do this by yourself, then Facebook would be, I guess, the easiest way to go.
Yeah, I would just really concentrate on building your fan base for your business, and make sure you're posting regularly, like kind of stick to the types of content that we talked about.
Okay.
And just really focus on growing your fan base, and then from there you'll start to be able to get your message out to more and more people, if that makes sense. And some people are like, oh, I want to start all of social media. I want to start Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and all of this stuff. And I usually recommend start with one, do a good job with that one, and make it be Facebook, because that's the monster of all of them, right? And then once you've kind of mastered that and been successful with that platform, maybe then go to Twitter or Google Plus or Pinterest or any of those that you
Or LinkedIn, even.
LinkedIn?
Yes.
LinkedIn is obviously good, especially for trying to recruit people to your business, to make sure you're posting to that site and yeah, staying top of mind on LinkedIn as well. But if you're just trying to gain new customers and sell more product, I would recommend Facebook.
I will say, if anybody's curious how this works, apparently my campaign starts at midnight tonight, so if you want to call me in about a month and see whether or not it was worth the money,
Yep.
I'll be more than happy to tell you.
In famous.
No, I'm actually doing
The targeted digital banner
targeted
ads.
digital banner ads. And I'm specifically targeting Mount Vernon and Burlington. I'm specifically targeting baby boomers and families with school-age children. And I'm paying for something on the order of 55,000 impressions per month across that area. And we will see what we will see. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
How long will it last?
3 months. I paid for 3 months right now.
Okay.
And when they see your ad, what's your call to action? Are you going to be happy if they land on your website, or if they call you, or what are you?
Well, my eventual plan is, yes, call me, come fix my computer. That's what I'm shooting for.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a link to my website, and we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean,
He's offering a specific offer,
Oh, yeah,
and
thank
the campaigns are always more successful when there's a specific offer listed. Obviously with a call to action, like you said, so I always recommend that. And even if someone doesn't click on your ad, I mean, it's always important to remember that you're getting those impressions in the market anyway. I mean, people are going to see it, so you're getting the branding portion of the ad, whether they click through or not. So it's a good top of mind, top of mind awareness campaign.
So yours is contextual, or the other one, if you do a search of...
she has to, I honestly...
Do you care?
Tell them whatever you want, I don't care.
His is an audience campaign, so we're targeting baby boomers, like he said, and households with children.
See, the way I perceive my business is that it's like a plumbing or a heating company. You don't, no plumber is going to say, hey, call me today because your pipes might be leaking. You wait until your hot water heater has actually burst, and then you call the plumber. But you know that you want your company to be the first guy to think of when they flip to the plumbing page on their Rolodex.
Right.
So if their computer is dying, I want them to think of me. So the idea of just...
I've seen Joe's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I need a computer guy. That's why I picked the name of my business, Joe the Computer Guy. I need a computer guy. My brother, funny enough, is Judd the Plumber, but that's a whole other thing. I'm not kidding. That really is the name of his business.
Joe the Plumber, your brother's
Judd.
name?
Judd.
I'm
Judd
like,
the
you
Plumber.
have two brothers named Joe?
Judd the Plumber is my brother. And the fact that if somebody says, I need a computer guy, I actually had somebody at Fred Meyer's once. I said something about being a computer guy. She goes, oh, you mean like Joe the Computer Guy? And I go, yes,
I am Joe.
I'm Joe the Computer Guy.
I'm Joe.
I didn't even have my shirt on. So there's enough presence of mind that the name of my business is getting out there.
You've already done good branding there.
Yeah, it's starting to work. I
And
know.
he has a really, really great logo, too.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps.
I'm working on getting it made into a toy.
Little plushies.
That's funny because I have a computer guy, but I call him the computer guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He is my computer
This
guy.
is my logo, by the way.
Cute.
It is cute. Image 360 did it for me. And yes, I'm working on. My neighbor does crafts, and I already asked her to look into it. She wants it made into a plushie doll.
Oh, stuff.
You can hang it from your rearview mirror to show the computer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Joe.
And we'll go.
We'll always have.
Exactly.
So feel free to get in touch with me if you have any other questions. Is that it? No other questions?
Very good. Thank you.